buses, the connecting boats, you know, so like all of that stuff. But my favorite kind of conductor actually are the kinds that give you a little attitude and show you that they are maybe just as angry as you are. Like I love knowing that someone involved with the operation of the train is maybe just as angry as I am riding it. And actually, because like one time I remember I was taking the A, and it went through Columbus Circle, but the C train was out. They must have just taken the C train out. And so the conductor gets on the loudspeaker and she goes, "There is no C train service. For alternate service, take the B as in Big Bad Bobby Brown, or the D as in Daddy Done Did It." And I love that. Like, she could barely disguise her complete seething hatred for you and me and her job in New York. It was great. But I have to say that my absolute favorite example of this, of a conductor and the attitude and everything, is this thing that I'm about to tell you. And I have to be honest with you, I have to be upfront with you right now. This is not something that I heard directly. This is a story that was told to me by my friend Ben, who's here tonight. Ben Schnickel told me this a couple of years ago. Yeah, clap for him, sure. And I love telling this story, so if you would just indulge me, and I just really love to tell this one. I love it even more than the story I have about being at Rite Aid online, and the woman that came in and completely ignored the line of people and just went right up to the register and said, "Excuse me, can y'all tell me who your pussy products are and shit?" I love this more than that. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell it. So, a couple of years ago, yeah, that was a good one. And that's pretty much the whole story. Just wearing pussy products. That's it. So, it was a couple of years ago. It was August, you know, and it was the afternoon rush on at the 59th and Lexington Street stop of the NRQ line. And it was the afternoon rush, and it was muggy and disgusting. It was like being inside someone's mouth down there. And no trains had come for a while. And so, like, the platform was packed. You couldn't even get down the stairs. And no trains, and no trains, and no trains. And finally, a train comes, Queens bound, and it's packed, of course, because there hadn't been any trains. And the doors open, and everybody tries to get into the train, you know, and they're just all like, you know, blobbing on in there and like trying to push through, and people don't fit. And so the conductor gets on the loudspeaker and she says, "Please use all available doors." And it's like, you know, people were like, "I'm at this door, so I'm not going to go you know, so no, we're all using the door that, you know." So, and still nobody's fitting in the train. And so she gets on again and she goes, "There is another train directly behind this one. If you cannot fit onto this train, stay on the platform and wait for the next arriving train, which, as I said, is directly behind this one." And everybody's like, "Well, I want to get on this train," you know, and it's like, she may be lying, you know, but I know. And so they're still like trying to push through there, and everybody's asses are hanging out the door, and their backpacks, and the doors can't close. And so finally she gets back on one last time and goes, "Get your ass in the goddamn train. This is why we always late. When you stand in the door and the doors can't close, that is why the train can't move, and that is why you're always late. Whose fault is that? Mine? No, it's yours. You need to get your ass in the train, get your back in the train, move to the center of the train so the doors can close, and we go now." And like, that worked. And so like, people like swooshed in, and the doors closed, and the train moved and went through the tunnel. And if you've ever taken that line to Queens, you know that it goes outside to go over the 59th Street Bridge, and so it did. It pulls out of the tunnel, and it's going over the bridge, and it must have just thunderstormed really hard, because stretched across the sky is a bright band of color, just extending over the East River to the Brooklyn Bridge and beyond, just the only remaining thing after a thunderstorm skid mark, just in our sky panties. All right, I'm done with that metaphor. And as everyone is just kind of like appreciating it, you know, for what it is, and just kind of taking this very peaceful moment to enjoy a miracle of nature, the conductor gets back on and goes, "Rainbow." That's it! That one word, in exactly that tone, just rainbow. And I love that because I think about those two, like, opposing, like, emotion forces, okay? Because over here is like, she could barely contain her excitement people are still taking their damn time getting out of the train. But she says nothing because by now she said everything she's going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the soundtrack series! Oh! Again, I am so happy you guys are all here tonight. Oh, this has been, we're like hunkering down in the basement during a storm. This is so exciting. I'm so glad you guys are all here.